Hey, welcome to Usually Wrong, episode number 62. This is with Kelsey Wilkins, who is directing a short film called An Honest Lie. And this is a really fun episode. I knew Kelsey 0% coming into it, and I'm doing a show to promote the event, or the movie, this Wednesday. It's a comedy show. It's a fundraiser for producing the film. That's Wednesday at Glitterbox, which will be a lot of fun. So come out to that and check out her upcoming film, An Honest Lie. If you'd like to sponsor that or make a donation, you can go to Seed and Sparks. It's a website it's basically the GoFundMe page for films. And it's really cool. Just search An Honest Lie. Help her out if you can. And enjoy this episode number 62 of Usually Wrong with Kelsey Wilkins.
When we finally got down to something which the individual says he really wants to do, I will say to him, you do that and forget the money. Because if you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You will be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living. That is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.
I'm gonna put these on. Every episode I get, hey, we could hear you and we couldn't hear the guests. It's like, okay, well, I'm 65 episodes into this. We should have we should have audio
awesome.
engineer.
I didn't even know what the name of it is.
It's called Usually Wrong.
Okay. That's good for me.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a podcast for years and years and years, but like half of it was the name for me. If I get into this and I don't have a name I can commit to, I don't want to keep doing it.
I would start and then change my name like halfway through.
Yeah.
And then be like, people are like, what the hell happened?
That's exactly right.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
How long have you been in film? So let's even start at the beginning. Did you grow up around Pittsburgh?
So, do you want to close the door? Is that a thing?
I don't know. Let's see. Did I close the outdoor one? Oh, that's fine.
Okay. So basically, I'm from Michigan.
You're from Michigan.
I'm from Michigan, near
That's
the Detroit area.
Okay.
Hardened.
You're hardened.
I'm hardened. I grew up a couple miles outside of the city, but then freshman year of high school, moved here.
Why?
My dad's job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm always curious when people are from somewhere else. Why did you come to Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
It was
Why
parents.
come to Pittsburgh at all?
I come to Pittsburgh.
So it was my dad's job, and also my sister was really sick, so we came here for Children's Hospital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we moved to Beaver County, if you know where that is.
Oh, yeah. I lived up towards... My dad was a Methodist minister for a long time. We lived in Rochester, around that area.
Yeah, I was in Center, so like...
Oh, you're in Center?
Yeah,
okay.
right next to Aliquippa.
You didn't go to the Freedom School District, did you?
No,
That wouldn't be Beaver.
That wouldn't be Beaver. I went to Center High School, and then we merged with Monaca and became Central Valley.
Oh, okay.
It was like this huge thing my sophomore year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went there for high school, and then senior year I was like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. And my friend had just applied and got accepted to Point Park University for cinema. And I was like, that sounds cool.
Is that it? Like, you saw your friend be like, oh, that looks really... Were you interested in film? Anything like that before that?
Love movies my whole life.
Yeah.
Was all about quoting movies. To, like, and the writing, and, like, obviously I love reading books, too. So, like, I loved book to movies and book to TV. So I was like, I don't know if I want to be on the technical side of, like, cinema production. Like, I'm not a very technical person.
Yeah.
So I saw they had screenwriting. And I was like, that could be cool.
Yeah.
I could write.
I could do that.
I could do that.
I can do that.
Yeah. I could, like... I started out, like, trying to do book adaptation to movies. Because I was, like...
You were trying to do that?
Yeah. So, like, my entrance essay to get in was I compared every Pride and Prejudice movie, TV show ever made to the book.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got to, like, rewatch all of them as I was reading the book a couple times. And I, like, compared and contrasted and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So.
I think of it the same way as how I got into comedy. Like I would watch comedy specials my entire life, but it's like, oh, I can't really do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that. And then I saw, I sound like a broken record because I say it almost every episode, but I saw John Mulaney's New in Town when I was in high school.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was the special that kind of changed my perspective of comedy. Like, okay, I think I can do that. It took 6 more years until I started. But like that was the one that was like, oh, okay, I think I could write. I think I could write jokes in a manner that he does and make it my own.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite. So you kind of felt that way when you saw your friend get into it? Yeah.
We like her entrance essay was a video, and it was a Quidditch spoof.
Okay.
So like, I was the rep, and I like released the snitch or whatever.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I was like, this is really fun. I don't know, like, so freaking dumb.
I know. I get it. I had a film group with my friends in high school, and that was where that's where I learned Final Cut. That's where I learned iMovie. That's where I learned, we were talking about like continuity stuff before this. Like that's where I learned to pay more attention, and that gave me an eye for stuff that you're doing too.
Yeah. And actually, when I was at Point Park, I was like, like I kind of want to do directing, but like it was a separate major, and I couldn't like really do it.
Yeah. So
I was like, I'll just get an acting degree.
You're opening my world to this too, because I thought you would go to school for like film, right? Like I thought you would just go to school for your W-2 says film, right?
Yep.
But obviously, like obviously, there's so many other aspects to it. So you go into it screenwriting.
Go into it screenwriting, and I actually picked up a double in acting.
Okay.
When I was at Point Park.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's a good school.
I like acting.
Yeah.
It's fun. So I ended up getting a double in that, and then realized, because I got it to help my writing for dialogue.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Because I was like, I fucking suck at dialogue. Like I hate it.
Yeah.
And then I realized, I have a writing degree and an acting degree. Why don't I try to direct something?
Yeah.
So one of the scripts I wrote, and I had submitted to like this competition that Point Park has for P3s, if you know what that is.
I don't know.
So they have like production 3s, like a junior level class.
Okay.
There's a script competition. If it's selected, like there's 6 scripts that get made by all the kids, and that's how they determine their concentrations.
Gotcha.
Within cinema.
That's how they determine their own concentration. Yeah.
They get selected for certain positions, and then like, oh, you're a sound concentration now.
Okay.
I was in screenwriting was like totally separate from cinema. It was like in a dark cave. No one talked to us. Like we're just like there's 7 people in my year. Like we're just like we are stories.
We feel that same way about improv people. Just kidding.
No, seriously, it's just like this really weird offshoot. And I submitted the script like 3 years in a row, and it didn't get picked.
Okay.
And I was like, why isn't this getting picked? Like none of the screenwriters' scripts were ever picked.
Right.
And like,
why?
That makes no sense. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
And so my senior year, I made it.
You just made it.
I just made it. Raised the money.
I thought you were on the edge of telling me some like conspiracy theory why why screenwriters never got picked.
They were not actually there.
They were, yeah.
6th Sense, like we're all dead.
You were all dead the whole time.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever done that in a movie? I'm just kidding.
Oh,
that crazy twist. Okay, I'm sorry. So
no. Yeah. Anyway. So I made it.
So you made it.
I made it, and I at first, like my DP, I was actually dating him at the time, which was like not a good idea. And he was like, "Yeah, my friend Brad's gonna direct it," and I was like, "You know what? I think that
you wrote it.
I want to direct it." And he was like not about it, but like eventually,
why?
I don't know.
Well, that's a whole other
why we're
topic.
Not dating, yeah. So
that's a whole other issue.
And so I made it, and then I actually got into like Point Park Senior Showcase.
Okay.
And like got into a bunch of festivals and stuff.
That's great.
And I was like,
holy fuck.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Right? You're at a school that is primarily the arts.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal.
And they like didn't want to make the script, and then I made it.
Yeah.
And it was like, suck a dick.
But that's a movie story. That there is a story. That's the kind of stories we like. It's somebody who got told, go fuck yourself. Yeah. We don't want your script. And then you go make it yourself.
Yeah. I feel like no one else could have made it either, because it was actually an experimental, no dialogue short about the 2008 economic crisis.
That's fun.
It was like cheery.
Tell me about
Comedy
it.
podcast.
What? No, this is completely fun.
Yeah, it was called "Affect the Second Great Depression," and it was a one-take short about a guy, a businessman, getting ready for work, and he slowly divulges into a homeless man.
Oh, that's
and
fun.
The sound behind it is like newscasts of the time.
Yeah,
and
like a Morgan Stanley type of person.
Yeah.
Going
So
and
he
losing
starts
their
like
job.
getting ready for work, and then like I had all practical people just like removing everything as he was walking.
So fun.
I don't think anyone else could have made it.
And it was a one take thing.
3 takes,
Three
but
takes.
quick like hitting cuts. It was like
Yeah,
bird bands.
yeah.
So
Can I say one take pieces, short pieces like that, the best.
Love
I think it really stemmed from the OK Go music videos.
it did.
Oh, it's the best.
I was all about OK Go videos.
Oh, I
Still
love them.
are.
I
They're
still
great.
love them. They're
good.
still great.
I mean, now I'm starting to like listen to music, and I'm like, not a huge fan of
Who-
the music,
yeah.
but the videos are so good.
Somebody said, I think it was a tweet or something, somebody was like, OK Go music videos are really cool, but they have that weird sound in the background. I'm like, I like that. It's okay.
Yeah.
That one, the best music video I think they ever did was, I don't think it was the most creative, but it was the coolest and scariest, was the one, it's from their newest album, but they're in a plane, the
Oh.
anti-gravity one. Like they flew, like they were in
Yeah.
Russia, and like, it's crazy. But it's not one take. What
Yeah.
they had to do was like, the plane would go up
Yeah.
in this remote region in Russia, and stop me if you've heard this before. I think it's
I haven't.
I think
I've
it's
actually never
crazy.
seen this one, so I
They
haven't
have
watched
30 seconds while it's going to be anti-gravity, like their bodies are going to be able to float, and then they had the pilot had to hover for a second, so that's where they cut it. So the whole
Oh.
video is in 30-second clips,
Oh, okay.
and then on the way down they can do that again.
Oh,
And they said they
jeez.
had a lot of puking.
Oh, yeah. Oh
I
my
can't
god.
even imagine that
I
for a music video.
and the type of prep that goes into one take, I like
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
realize
Oh yeah,
how much prep. And then I was watching OK Go videos. I'm like, that must have taken freaking years.
yeah,
To get that right, the printer one.
yeah. The printer one.
That took literally, I think, 2 years to plan.
Yeah,
And I was like, the dedication
the dedication.
is amazing.
I love that sort of. We don't really give a fuck who watches. I mean,
Yeah.
now I think they probably do, but
yeah.
look at the one with it's done in 4 seconds.
That
They
one's
had to
so
split it.
good.
Look, he was like, I saw like a behind the scenes. He has like this huge Excel sheet. It's down to the millisecond. What's
Mhm.
gonna happen? I'm like, motherfucker! Like I can't.
And they did it like 100 times.
Yeah.
And there's the one that works.
The one that, yeah, exactly. The commitment to stuff like that is
Yeah.
so enviable.
That's the kind of commitment that I want in all my stuff, and I'm sure you feel that way about comedy. You're
I
just
do.
Like, I want to feel that way about something.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
I worry sometimes that I look at. Okay, so I'll give you this example. I've heard people are described as geniuses, right?
Mhm.
Like you see a famous comedian, you see a Kyle Kinane, you see somebody who is very, very good and so far along in their career, and you're like, that person's a genius.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe my brain could never go there. It could never work that way. But then I'm starting not to like that word genius, because it behind an hour of comedy is 1,600 notebooks of stuff that didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Behind a lot of good movies is 100,000 note cards of ideas that just got thrown in the trash because that person took the time and had the dedication to find out what worked. So when somebody says that person's a genius, I'm like, well, you're kind of copping out. You're kind of just using an excuse. That person's so much better, that could never be me. Do you know what I mean about
There's harder workers than us.
There's harder workers. Just work harder.
Yeah, just don't be a lazy piece of shit.
I know.
And you'll be good.
Well, did you watch Haunting of Hill House on Netflix?
I did.
Did you?
I watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan, even though I love like period pieces, I'm not a huge fan of slow stuff.
Slow stuff.
Yeah, like slow horror,
Yeah, I get it.
not my fan.
I get it.
Yeah, but
It wasn't the scariest thing of all time, but I did want to say, because that was the most recent one take shot thing. They did like an hour episode, and they did 15-minute slices
yeah.
for one episode. Blows your mind. I think it's the 7th episode. If you don't watch anything else, go watch
I'll go watch
that
one.
episode.
Yeah.
Do you like scary stuff?
I do like scary stuff.
Yeah. As somebody in film, I'm curious if you enjoy that genre.
There's a lot of things that, like, I've done some horror shorts and worked on other people's horror things, so I know the practical things that go behind it.
Yeah.
Which kind of dilutes a lot of horror for me.
Yeah.
But there's...
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so you're like, I know how to do that gag. It's not like I know there's somebody behind that door doing that.
You see the framework behind
Yeah, but then there's also things like it that
freak you out.
Fuck me up. Like, I hate clowns so much.
I don't blame you.
They're horrible. So there's like stuff that, and contortionists, like, those are my two things, clowns and contortions.
Okay.
I can't do.
You'll never make a clown contortionist.
Oh my
film.
God.
I mean, you can challenge yourself.
I love watching those types of things.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if you can make me feel that strongly about something, you did something right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Do you feel knowing the framework behind film also kind of it doesn't let you enjoy watching a lot of stuff? I'll give you this example. I know a lot about music. I grew up with music. I know a lot of music theory. I know why a lot of pop music works. I know why chord structures work. I understand. I know how to play some instruments.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of makes me enjoy music less.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm envious of people who don't know what any type of chord structure is, who don't know how music works. It's like, do those people enjoy that art form more than I do? Do you relate to that at all?
I do.
Film-wise,
100%. And it's really, ask any person that went to film school, they're the same way.
Yeah.
It's like, there's always stories that get you and that like like that, what is the term?
Like
illusion. The illusion is still there for you.
Yeah,
for certain stories. But then there's also, like, especially for screenwriting, I took 6 or 7 classes just on structure.
Mm-hmm.
So I can predict things really well.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating for people to watch things with me.
Because you know that person who made that piece of work has the same mindset.
Yeah. So, like, I remember I went on a first date and we saw Big Hero 6.
Okay.
And first 10 seconds, I was like, that guy's gonna die.
It's because you knew that
like,
type of thing was gonna happen.
That's like a Disney structure. I was like, that dude's dying. And the person next to me was like, what? I was like, don't worry about it. Like, I don't want you to think I'm weird, but like, a lot of things don't surprise me.
Yeah.
And that's good and bad. I can like work it into my own things, fixing things that I'm writing. But it does take a lot for me to like really love a movie.
Yeah, you can fix something that you're writing based off of seeing it over and over and over again when you're watching film. Yeah. You can say, okay, I know what they did. Oh, how does that reflect on what I'm producing?
Exactly. So I'm like, oh, that second act was so long and boring. And then so I did not like Rogue One. I know a lot of people.
I knew it's Star Wars. I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was like an individual prequel story. Yeah. Everyone loved it, and I didn't, but I knew exactly why I didn't like it. Yeah. I was like, the second act was long and drawn out and boring, and then they just crammed everything into the last 15 minutes. Yeah. And everyone was like, that's how it was supposed to be. And I was like,
well, I don't know.
Not really, no. Like,
coming from a different mentality. Yeah. That's interesting, too. I mean, we just talked about the music and the film thing. I have not seen a lot of Star Wars, but I saw the most recent one where they like blow up they blow
up a lot of stuff in Star Wars. A lot of ships explode.
They blow up the big one, like they get away real fast, and then they come the most recent like one in the franchise. I think it's Episode 8 or something. Yeah. And all my friends are like, that was lame. That was awful. It was a bad movie. I'm like, well, it was fun. Yeah. Like, I liked it. But that's because I don't know the framework of the Star Wars movies. Like, I can appreciate that explosions are happening. But I don't need to know the story.
So, but then there's also the other point that I think a lot of filmmakers don't really understand is like, that's also okay. Some things can just be fun. Like, oh, yeah. Yeah. So, like... If you see, like, a comedian whose jokes are, like, kind of easy, but you're still like, I'm entertained by this. Like, don't worry about it. Like, Marvel movies aren't supposed to be literary masterpieces. Like, They're explosions. Like, just
Exactly.
watch it.
You can still enjoy that. It doesn't have to be artsy and heady. And I think when I started writing comedy, it was supposed to be that. It was supposed to be, I'm going to come up with this great point. It's going to blow people's fucking mind, Kelsey. People are not going to know what to do. But it's fresh. It's 100% fresh. And now it's just having fun on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's making fun of the audience. Now it's building material around what's the funnest thing that I can say on stage.
What happened? You make it about you, and not about. Well, obviously you want people to be entertained, but like.
Yeah, you do
to a certain extent. Like, you're there for you.
I agree.
Yeah.
You have to have fun. Especially comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to have fun doing what you're doing on stage. 'Cause as soon as people can tell that you're not having fun, it's like your set's on. I've had sets where I'm like, oh, this isn't going well. I'm just going to trudge through material. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, I'm kind of calling it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done stand-up a bit.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I do a little bit.
I haven't known a lot about you until about a half hour ago.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I've done stand-up a bit, and I don't do it regularly because I have other stuff going on. But also, when I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. Like,
yeah.
You know, you're not going to force yourself to go up there and try and repeat a joke that you came up with 4 sets ago.
Agreed.
And make it fresh again.
If it's not what you want to do.
If it's not what you want to do. If I want to just be at home watching Netflix, eating chocolate, like, I'd rather be doing that than forcing myself to go up in front of people.
Yeah. Why have you done stand-up at all, then? Have you done it to make yourself a better person in film?
Yes. I actually
better screenwriter?
Started it for dialogue writing.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
So I was writing, like, a dark comedy pilot about maids working in a haunted hotel.
Okay.
And I was like,
that's great.
This needs to be like dark, bland, Tig Notaro comedy.
Yeah.
And so that's what kind of my stand-up is.
Yeah.
It's really like, not monotone, but in that realm. So I would test out dialogue from my scripts in a set and see what reaction I got and be like, wow, that one didn't really land.
Yeah.
So I might not want to put that in my script.
And you've chosen the best example for that metaphor, Tig, in what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. When I'm in the mood for somebody who's just one of the best writers, it's either her or Kyle Kinane, it feels like to me. Just the best writers, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Very monotone. And that's what you're trying to go for.
They build story in their set. They tell stories instead of just trying to sell off jokes, which is what I like.
It's what I'm trying to get better at, too. Let me say something to you that's going to bring you into this world. It has characters, it has plot to it.
You literally said that, and I thought you were going to tell a story.
So you saw, I knew, as soon as I said it, I'm like, she's going to tell her story. But that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm trying to get better at. I'm envious of comics who can do that, but you're doing that in film all the time. And it's a more, I would say film is a more understood medium on how that can be done. As opposed to somebody just talking on stage. How am I going to bring you into characters, plot, all of this on stage? I think yours is more understood to do that.
It's more universally recognized, I think. Yeah. Stand-up is, I'm not going to say regional, but it's also age. Yeah, it's very age-related. Close to that. I've actually met some comics that are nothing, I'm sure you've met them, that are nothing like how they are on stage.
Yeah.
And it's like they're putting on a story character.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting. They're like playing a part.
Yeah.
It's not that great. It's not that genuine, but I think it's interesting that what they're doing. They're telling a story from completely different perspective.
Agreed.
From who they are.
And can be done well, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, I look at the one example that came to mind was Stephen Colbert. Between the character on Comedy Central and then him moving to the Late Show. Mm-hmm. That's that massive shift in who he is as a person.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you are the character. You were so much the character to me that moving to the Late Show almost made me uncomfortable seeing him like that. Does that make any sense?
It's like who the real one is, you know?
Yeah.
Like Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah. The documentary.
I haven't seen the documentary.
It's really good. He is nothing like his stage persona.
Bet.
Yeah, like even his voice isn't even like that. Really that much. He still does stand up. He takes mega buses everywhere. He stays in cheap-ass motels. Like, this guy is famous.
Yeah.
But, like, he's not anything like he is on stage.
I'll share something embarrassing with you. That is what if I get the opportunity to be wealthy and famous, I still want to do. I want to take a megabus.
Yeah.
I really, I do.
I want to eat at Subway for 3 meals a
Exactly.
week.
Well, nobody should want to eat at
It's
Subway, and
ever.
I'll be very. The only time that I ever feel like going to Subway, legitimately, is when I'm not feeling well. When I have a stomach ache, I'm like, I am in the mood for some fucking Subway.
Because it's like, put more shit in my belly.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, Subway is crap. Sorry, Subway.
What's been your process in making an honest lie? When did that start? How did you develop the ideas, and how did this come about?
All right, so...
Which is a show, I'm going to plug it at the beginning, okay, let me be clear too. Comedy show, and then the movie is airing right after that?
So the movie, we're in the funding stages right now.
Oh, you're in the funding stages?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
fun.
This comedy show is slightly like a fundraiser to gain awareness
That's great.
for the movie. Also, because we're not really where we need to be in our funding campaign, and
That's great.
we need more money. Yeah, so they're two separate things. To start with an honest lie, basically the log line of it is set in a not too distant future. Truth kiosks sit on every corner,
Right.
and a woman gets some unfavorable results.
Okay.
And it's her contemplating what to do with those results.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a woman named Charlotte Harper. She goes up to one of these kiosks and is like, "Why does my life suck so bad?" And it tells her, "You're fat, ugly, and stupid.
Okay.
You need to get plastic surgery and a higher education."
Okay.
And she's like, "Well, I have $10 in my bank account. Like, what am I going to do?" And it says her last result is, or only result is suicide.
Okay.
So she leaves the kiosk being like, "I have to commit suicide now?
Right.
Shit."
Yeah.
And she comes upon a bridge and she's like, "Well, this could be the time." And she meets this woman next to her who also has similar results.
Huh.
And it's their conversation trying to determine, like,
Yeah.
accepting the truth or, like, walking away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's basically the synopsis and logline and plot
Yeah.
of An Honest Lie.
Yeah.
And it stems from me wanting to... Obviously, everybody wants to know the truth about something.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people are too nice to tell you the honest truth.
Yeah.
I actually made a short documentary a couple months ago, or like last year, about my sister. So my sister passed away from cancer.
Oh, man,
And so
I'm sorry.
yeah, it was a while ago. But I made a documentary for her.
Yeah.
Called Lights, and I distributed it everywhere to like a lot of friends, family. Just got a lot of notoriety from like the cancer community.
Yeah.
But it wasn't getting any festival recognition.
Okay.
And I was like, from a selfish point, I was like, why not? Like, why? Why? What's wrong with it? But no, it was such a tough subject. Nobody would tell me what was wrong with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So who wants to tell me that?
And it's a documentary that means a lot to you.
Exactly.
It has almost the most personal relevance that you could ever find in something.
Exactly. So I was like, if it's bad editing, I'll fix it. If the lighting's bad, I'll fix it. If the coloring, sound, I'll just
tell me what's wrong with this.
And I will fix it. And I actually submitted it to a work in progress at like a kind of a bigger festival in Seattle, and I went because I was like, maybe I'll get some answers.
Yeah.
The whole audience was crying. The panel was like, that was very emotional.
Yeah.
That was great. They didn't tell me what was wrong.
Oh, gosh.
So I had like 2 or 3 weeks of feeling guilt of trying to get notoriety for such a tough subject. Like, am I trying to just gain fame from sadness or a tough subject? And then it was just me being mad. I was like, why won't anyone tell me what's wrong with it? Right. So I still haven't found out what's wrong with it.
Are you going through this like struggle in your head? I think that this is what I heard when you said that. Is it I'm struggling because this is a devastating loss as a human being for you, but it's am I trying to gain fame and notoriety based off of that?
Exactly. Am I trying to get this?
And then why the fuck is nobody telling me what's wrong? Yeah.
Yeah. Am I trying to get notoriety and get into festivals because I want fame or recognition for this, or am I wanting notes so I can make it the best for her?
Right.
And I was it was just like good, actually like 2 or 3 months of me just being really conflicted and feeling really shitty about myself. And so then I like had a dream about a truth kiosk. I was like, yo.
You had a dream about that.
That same thing with the fact I had a dream about the whole script and I wrote it the next day.
Wow.
And the same thing with this.
Yeah.
I wrote a short story of this and then I turned it into a script. But I was like, imagine a world where I could just know what's wrong with things and society would be bettered by just letting people know the truth about things. But then I was like, I wondered what I would have done if somebody did tell me what was wrong with it.
Yeah.
Would I have accepted it?
That's funny.
So at the end, Charlotte ends up walking away and the woman ends up jumping off the bridge. And I kind of took the perspective of Charlotte being like, if I was told that it was shitty, would I have accepted that? And I'm a pretty stubborn person, and I don't think I would have. I would have been like,
no, motherfucker, like this is my work. This is my story.
Exactly. So as I was like working through writing An Honest Lie and being like, should we just accept truth at face value, or should we...
What do you think about that, then?
So I actually love my documentary more after writing this.
Yeah.
Knowing that if I would have gotten those notes, and knowing I probably wouldn't have tweaked a lot about it.
Yeah.
It makes me love it more.
Right.
It makes me love it for what it is.
Yeah, you learn something about yourself.
Exactly.
In making the new one as compared to the old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a dramedy / experimental in the fact that it'll make you think.
Yeah.
And it could apply to anybody. You could take the side of the woman that jumps, or you could take the side of Charlotte. It's pretty universal.
Yeah.
If any of this made sense...
No, it did. It completely did.
It is a labor of love, a complicated labor of love.
Do you think as a society we're too nice to each other? Hold on. Let me rephrase that, actually, because we're not nice to each other in a lot of aspects as a people to each other. But do you think when it comes to things like this and being able to share honest opinions with somebody's work, with somebody's life choices, with X, Y, and Z, do you think we're too nice and catering's the wrong word, but do you think we're catering to people's feelings too much? And do you think that's harmful? Do you think that's a bad thing to do?
I think, especially as I was writing it, I'm like, yes, I would like to know if these pants make me look fat. Just
tell me.
It will make me feel better about myself if I know I look good. You know, there's things like that. When you said lifestyles, that's an important one to think about. Like, personal truth only has so many boundaries. Yeah. So there's a very fine line between honesty and judgment.
Oh, yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if you know this, but like I do a quote for your episode.
Oh, okay.
You got it.
Nice.
That's the exact one.
Yeah.
But you are keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I interrupted you.
No. I'm trying to answer the question to the best of my ability.
There's no writing. I promise. And I'm not. This is a conversation.
Okay. I also just want to try and like get my thought. Communicating myself.
I should stop interrupting.
No. Interrupt me every 5 seconds. It'll give me more time to think. So, I think there's certain things like blue ribbon parenting, telling kids that they're great at everything. There's some harmful things about that kind of
I think so,
falsity. I don't believe in blue ribbon society. I feel like everyone gets a ribbon society. I feel like that's the better term. Like everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
Versus like sometimes you need some motivation to work hard.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten 3rd place ribbons, and then I went and ran more, and I got 1st place.
And then you went and made your own film. Fuck those people for not accepting. Yeah.
So
you learn how to do that. I agree with you completely.
So there's a certain way in that regard, but then in terms of saying somebody if they're like living a homosexual lifestyle or
that's different.
That's very different because that's inbred to them.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't choose. I don't believe that is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're saying that that's wrong,
Yeah.
I guess saying something wrong or saying something right on something you can't control versus something
Correct.
that you can versus, hey, go practice more in soccer.
Right.
You know, there's
Right.
things that you can change, like go buy different pants if these ones don't look good versus.
I agree.
You can't change things.
Completely.
Yeah, so if that's the I think.
You said it exactly correct.
Yeah.
There's a difference between being honest with somebody and then judging them.
Yeah.
And where your intention comes from.
Mm-hmm.
If my intention is for, let's say a friend of mine is let's say they're dating somebody that is not the right fit for them. Just genuinely not a great person. I don't even want to take it too far, but let's say they're like abusive. And then we say, okay, for the benefit of you, my intention is you need to step away. You need to get out of this.
Yeah.
And they look at that and say, well, you're judging me. You're judging me based off of my choices to be with someone. There's a whole host of other factors to that.
Yeah.
But my intention is to say, buddy, you gotta leave.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get out of this bad thing. I think the intention of how you're telling somebody something is almost more important than what you're telling them.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So like you're doing it not because we're going with the same example. You're doing it not because you like hate that person personally. I mean, you might.
Yeah.
But you don't like how it's hurting somebody you care about.
Exactly.
So there's very clear difference.
Yeah.
Of why you would do something like that, and that's the same with like truth in general, and like what an honest lie is trying to put into question.
That's what you're trying to do in that. Huh.
Yeah. So you can take whatever side you want.
Yeah.
And it's actually saying there's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
And that's okay. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's what the.
That's exciting.
Movie's about. Yeah.
What's been most? This is an interview question. I hate it already. As it's coming out of my mouth, I hate it. What have you enjoyed most about making it?
So.
Or you can answer. I'll give you this option as well. What's been your favorite part about making any type of film you've made in general? Is there a part of making something that you really gravitate towards?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. My favorite part with this, which we haven't actually, to make it a little clear, we haven't actually made this movie yet.
Okay.
A lot of people, I like send our page to them. They're like, awesome, like, this is great. This is a great concept. Send it to us when it's in festival, or send it to us when it's done. And I was like, it's not why I sent you this page. I can't make it without your support. Like, it's literally not made yet.
Yeah.
So
that's why we're doing the podcast.
That's why we're doing the podcast, people. I want to make it really bad.
Yeah.
And I can't without the dollars, okay? $10, whatever.
Exactly. We'll plug, like, do you have a GoFundMe page or something?
It's actually Seedens Park.
Seedens Park.
It's just for independent film.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So it's like GoFundMe for what you're doing.
Exactly.
Oh,
and
cool.
they also they have a giant streaming database of independent film for free.
Oh, cool.
So you can go on there and watch things that
That's
are
sweet.
made for them. Anyway, my favorite thing
Sorry.
about the film process in this and everything else is fine-tuning the story.
So second, third, fourth, fifth drafts of
Yes.
the stories.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I like write the initial one off. A lot of times it's my dreams, which is like really stereotypical.
No,
I wake up and I'm like, that's what that scene looks like.
I don't know, man. If I would have told you, if you wrote a movie based off of my dreams last night, that would have been my old marching band director yelling at me for not clapping in time.
Oh, that's a good scene, though.
It is
like
a good scene.
What's the Oscar-winning one about the drummer?
Oh.
It's that. He's just
I
yelling
got
at
no
him for
idea.
not doing it.
Is that true?
Yeah.
See, that story's already taken.
So, or like the story I had when it was like children supervillains that like have an orange juice bomb that's activated by grape juice. Full on like little Einstein's parody. I don't know. Anyway, the best part about that, the rewrite, is fine-tuning that, because there are a lot of things that you're like, that could be awesome, but then you realize it's been done before, or it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And you have the power.
Yeah.
And it's like very God-like, I have the power to shape this story
Change this
any way I want. Same with like comedies. I'm sure with your sets, you're like, no one's telling me I can't do this.
Huh. I'm just gonna change it.
I'm just gonna change it.
I'm gonna change it.
And there's no teacher telling me it's bad. There's no person.
Yeah.
You got the power. I like having the power. Which is why I like directing.
Which is why you like that.
Yeah.
And you don't place a lot of focus on acting. Acting seems like hard. Like I even look at like famous actors and stuff, like they're just waiting to get a phone call to work. In comedy, screamer, you can make something and then immediately produce it. An actor's like, I gotta wait for an opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
So when I told my parents I was getting an acting degree, also, they're like, why?
Yeah.
And I was like, I emphasize that I'm doing it not because I want to be an actor, but because I want to help what I actually care about.
Right.
And so all my friends that were in an acting program with me, they're like, oh, I got like 10 auditions, or I went to like 40 open calls. And I'm like,
oh, motherfucker.
I'm just going to act in my own thing.
No,
so,
exactly.
So I'm actually the woman.
You're the woman in it. Okay.
Yeah, so my friend Hannah is Charlotte, the lead, and I'm the woman that jumps off the bridge.
Gotcha.
Yeah, gotcha. I make things, if I want to act in it, I can. And I know what I'm going to look like.
Yeah. Would you ever make any major plot changes at this point?
Mm-mm.
No.
It's pretty set in stone. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
This is really fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got to know you.
This was great.
So we're at almost an hour, so hey, thank you very much for doing this, by the way. I'm excited to plug the fuck out of this, because it's fun. I enjoy stuff like this. So we always end the show with this. I'm going to ask you a question. I started dating a girl, Monica, about a year and 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. As we were courting, her friends asked me this question, almost as like a gauge. Is Nate a scumbag, or is he like a cool dude? So I'm going to ask...
if I'm a scumbag?
No. Well, I'm going to ask you this question. So, Kelsey, you're at a bar. The night is going poor. The bartender has poisoned most of the drinks in the bar. Some people have died. There's quicksand in the back, has swallowed up like 10 Asian couples. It's very bad. It's a racist quicksand, too.
Just Asian, okay.
Keep that in mind.
Okay, racist quicksand.
Racist quicksand. But it is also karaoke night, and it's your job to save the entire night by song. What song are you singing? So much pressure. I love watching people's faces.
I'm horrible with names of songs.
I am too. Don't worry about
it. The one that's like, I would walk 500.
500. You got it. 500 miles.
I would sing 500 miles as we all slowly died.
That's so great. Tell me why. Why that song?
Because
I love that song.
It does. It's a measurement of time, sort of.
That's funny.
And so it can pace.
That's a film person answer.
So,
it's a measurement of time.
500 miles, like, has a certain beat.
Yeah.
And not that I'm going to save anybody, I just think it would be really entertaining to watch this whole scene divulge to that song.
That's a film person answer if I've ever heard one. We're going to pan to the left and right and see chaos and destruction.
Quicksand, I would walk
500
miles. And do. We're all dead at the end, but it was a fun time.
I have a video on YouTube. I made it in like 7th or 8th grade with a friend. Nice. Back when YouTube was like, we're a new thing. My buddy and I were just walking around with 500 miles in the background. It's like played in the video. And then my younger brother, who's in like 4th or 5th grade at this point, he like gets in the shot, and the whole rest of the video is just like not beating him up, but like playfully.
Get out of here.
I've never hit anybody in my life, but that's what I think of when you said 500 miles.
It's very good. Both connected in the video medium. Two very different things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to plug other than the short film?
Really, that's been my life for the past 2 weeks.
Right.
Consumed. I would just like to plug the Seed and Spark page.
Yes. How do you spell Seed and Spark?
Seed and Spark. So
Seed and Spark.
Yeah, like a plant. Like it's a seed of an idea. I feel like that's why. Is that why no one is like visiting?
This is how I thought you would spell it. I'm going to type it CEEDANCE, like Sundance.
Oh, yeah, no.
Well, Sundance is also not a C, but I guess it would be for me SEEDANCE.
So,
anyway, Seed and Spark.
Seed and Spark. You just go to that website and look up An Honest Lie. You'll see our page.
Great.
And the page is also in our event.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll be able to. I made a funding video that's semi-entertaining. If you want to take a look at that.
That's great. I'll put it in the bio of this.
Yeah.
Too, so people will
Shares, follows, any contributions. We have 2 weeks left. We need to raise 51%.
Okay.
Before we even, you have to raise 80 to get any.
Okay.
So we're at 31% right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Good luck. Don't be stressed. Hopefully this will help in some capacity. This will come out today or tomorrow.
Oh,
so.
Awesome. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and obviously the show Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Glitterbox Theater night.
That'll be fun.
And,
I'll be promoting that at the beginning too.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for doing this. You get to sign us off. You get to say anything you'd like. I've had people be inspirational. People just say random shit. People be mean to me. Nobody's been mean to me.
Be mean to you.
Say whatever you'd like.
All right. Do I have to say my name?
No.
Oh,
You
cool.
say whatever you like.
All right. Gonna sign off and say it's okay to be not okay. Don't be stressed out. Just feel whatever.
That's so inspirational.
Yeah.
That's so great. Thank you, Kelsey.